Hello, Ram fans, and welcome to a women's basketball Ram Roundup in lieu of the traditional Stephanie Gaitley show, head coach of the Fordham women's basketball program. Keep an eye out for that. It will be co-presented by WFUV and BronxNet in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for that. For now, we will do a traditional Ram Roundup style. So, Coach, coming off kind of a whirlwind opening weekend, 2 games, 3 days, 1 on the road. Let's separate it by game. First, we'll start with the season opener on Friday, a 21-point win over Wagner here at home. 80 points on offense in regulation, something that didn't happen all of last season. Give me your first overall impressions on that performance.
I mean, I think the first game is always one in which you're not sure what you're going to get. I was disappointed in our defense. I mean, obviously offense was there, but I think we got a false sense of confidence because we started off so hot. We hit a lot of threes early, and I think that set the tone for us being unfocused on defense. And so that was a point of emphasis in the next day of practice because obviously there was a quick turnaround.
Bre Cavanaugh coming out of being named preseason first-team all-conference, puts up her first career double-double, something that you lost in Jamaris Davis over the offseason. And then a lot of freshmen, especially Caitlin Downey, entering the starting lineup. What did you think of the underclassmen's performances on Friday?
I mean, Caitlin, I don't think in that first game played like a freshman. I think if you were to watch on court and not know her year, you would think she was probably an underclassman because she's very poised. But I thought all the underclassmen came in and gave us something. You know, I think obviously the future's bright because I think we got a very talented freshman class. But, you know, 13 underclassmen, you're going to have ups and downs. And, you know, I think our leaders are doing a good job. And it's, you know, it's an aggressive schedule. So it's just a matter of seeing where we're at once this out-of-conference schedule is done.
Moving on to Sunday, traveling up to Northeastern, a 4-point loss on the road. Before we get into the game itself, how do you think the team responded to the challenge of opening up a season with 2 games in 3 days?
I thought they responded well because we're going to face similar situations actually back-to-back when we go to conference tournament time, so we got to be prepared for that. But it was a tough turnaround because Northeastern's a very good team. I mean, they've got 2 very good seniors that lead them, and they have a lot of talent, and it was on their court. And I told the kids it was a 50-50 game. So in order for us to get the advantage and be at 51, it's the small things, and we didn't do that. They out-rebounded us. I thought they out-toughed us. I thought we played hard. I just don't think we played smart.
And I'm also forgetting we're within a week of being during Thanksgiving weekend. We're playing 3 games in a row down in Florida, the Gulf Coast Showcase. Now, speaking about the Northeastern game, your defense and your rebounding, despite getting out-rebounded, but the defense definitely kept you guys in it. A couple shots fall, this could be a completely different result. How impressed were you with the team's defense keeping you in that way?
I agree. I mean, we shot 28%, you know, but when we broke down films today, one of the things we talked about was intangible things, like not knowing the offenses, not knowing the shot clock, not knowing what shots to take, like end of quarters, getting the last shot. So little things that always kind of creep their way in the early part of the schedule. So things that we can learn from. Like I knew going into this game, Northeastern was going to be a toss-up. It was just going to be a matter. I mean, we had the lead for 3 quarters, we couldn't maintain it and lost to a good team on their court.
Now looking ahead, tomorrow, Wednesday night, you got a big opponent coming in, Big Ten, Penn State coming to town. Lucky to get them in the Rose Hill Gym because of the last 2 seasons we've played them in Happy Valley. This is a team that hasn't won a true road contest since last January. So judging by what you've seen from that team and your team's performances the last 2, last year being a very close matchup, what are you looking for out of Wednesday night's game?
I mean, I've seen them on tape, obviously, against Providence and Cal, and extremely talented. I mean, they have 80% of their scoring and rebounding back, so they've got most of their players back. Very explosive, great inside-outside attack. Again, in order for us to put ourselves in position to win, we're going to have to rebound, and we're going to have to, you know, play very, very good transition defense.
All right, thank you, Coach, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks. Go Rams.
Now I'm joined by redshirt sophomore Bre Cavanaugh. Bre, first 2 games in 3 days to open this season, 1-1 to split the weekend. First, give me your overall thoughts on the opening weekend, how the teams performed over those 2 games.
I think overall, you know, starting with Wagner, I think we did a pretty solid job on defense, and I think, you know, going to Northeastern, I mean, road games are tough. I mean, that's what's expected, but, you know, we played hard. I think we just need to be a little smarter on the road, you know, focus a little more on details.
Now in the Wagner game Friday, 80 points in regulation. That's something that the team did not do in regulation last year. Hasn't been done since January of 2 seasons ago. You lose Jamaris Davis in the offseason, and you incorporate a talented freshman class. But how impressed were you in was everyone, or were they surprised in seeing 80 points from this team in that first game?
I wasn't really surprised because our team we have a bunch of scorers. Caitlin Downey stepped up big time. Kendall's a scorer, Lauren can score, Mary can score. We can all score. So it's not like I expected it, but I wasn't surprised. The freshmen are stepping up big time. So hats off to them, doing their work.
For sure. And then kind of the opposite on Sunday against Northeastern. I mean, obviously, a few of those shots fall, a few calls your way, and that can be a completely different result. But your defense completely kept you in the game throughout. I know that's the mantra of the Coach Gaitley Rams, but how impressed were you in the early going of the season already to see a defensive performance like that?
I think, overall defensively we're doing a much better job, but there's always room for improvement. And I think, with these past couple practices, leading the Penn State, we've really dialed in and focused on defense. Northeastern, we played hard on defense, maybe a few possessions we could have got if we boxed out, but overall a solid job on defense. I mean, we're definitely picking it up on the defensive end because obviously it showed Northeastern our shots weren't falling, but we picked it up on defense, so defense is what really matters.
For sure. I mean, 2 games in 3 days is always tough. It's always a big challenge to open the season. How do you think the team responded in playing so much in the opening weekend?
I think the team's responding well because everyone in America who's playing Division I basketball has 2 games in 3 days or 3 games in 5 days or whatever. So I think with our group we definitely are responding well to it, and actually it helps that we had our preseason because obviously conditioning helps a lot because we are very conditioned, and that shows.
You were there last year in Happy Valley, Penn State. How hungry are you to get back on the court, welcoming them to the Rose Hill Gym this season tomorrow night?
Man, last year, the last 2 minutes, we gave it to them. But you know what? I'm excited for them to come in to Rose Hill because this is our house. We're going to protect our house, and let's see if Penn State's ready.
All right, thank you, Bre, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
That'll do it for the women's basketball edition of the Ram Roundup. Thank you to head coach Stephanie Gaitley and Bre Cavanaugh for joining me. The Fordham women's basketball team is back in action Wednesday night at 7 p.m. against Penn State, and again this Sunday inside the Rose Hill Gym against Charlotte at 2:30 p.m. Both games will be streamed on ESPN Plus and WFUV Sports FM. For Fordham Athletics, I'm Ryan Uhlich. See you next week.